Amen.
What's your good?
My good was the performance by Jalen Brunson. 47 points, 10 assists in the Knicks' 97-92 win over the Sixers. The Knicks now up 3-1 in this series. I will continue to say this as long as I am still breathing. I was so wrong about Jalen Brunson and him being a difference-making superstar in this league. Now, it took a few years, but there's no question he is a bona fide superstar in this league. Randy Merkin, you were 100% correct about this. I was 100% wrong about it. It is a joy to watch Jalen Brunson play basketball.
I don't even think he got enough flowers in the postseason awards. Like, he was left off the Olympic team, wasn't he?
I think so.
I don't think he made first team All-NBA.
I don't believe so.
So, yeah, and I sent you guys a tweet, like something that Bill Simmons said when the Knicks first signed him, that he'll never be a guy, Bill Simmons said, that Knicks fans will be raving, oh, we're going to the Garden to watch Jalen Brunson score 40. Like, he's doing exactly that in playoff moments. He's carrying this team with injuries. He's incredible.
He's unbelievable.
I don't think anyone saw it coming. I think Merkin was nuts to think that. But he was absolutely right.
And by the way, in an era where you see high flying players that do some incredible athletic things, which is all great as well, he does it in a manner that may not be as eye popping, but is equally impressive. Like his style of play, you still at the end of watching a game, you're like, how the hell did he put up 47? But he did.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fantastic player.
Absolutely. My good is actually something ridiculous that Raheem Morris said, but the reason it's my good is thank goodness for Atlanta going with Michael Penix, because like a lot of people thought, hey, maybe they'll trade down and take one of the defensive players or maybe trade down and take Penix. But if Atlanta gives up the number 8 pick and someone goes up for a Dunze, the Bears don't get a Dunze. So thank goodness they're so off the wall. I thought if you're all in with Kirk Cousins, then why would you go for another quarterback? You can't be halfway. But this explanation is so glorious, is so nutty. It's so great. Listen to this on how the Penix pick, how they explain it.
Was this Raheem Morris sitting next to Terry Fontenot
Yes.
when he did? Yeah.
Did you hear this?
I did. It's great.
Make sense out of this. It's so fantastic.
I hate for it to be like the story of the draft. I know it will be. That's just how our world is based and is driven. But I can't say it gets annoying. I can't say it's annoying. No, because it's what people want to see is pique more interest. I feel like, what's Kelsey's girlfriend name? I feel like her right now, just based off. I'm Taylor Swift right now, and Terry's Kelsey, I guess.
What? He's Taylor Swift, and Terry Fontenot is Travis Kelce?
And
how does that make any
like,
sense?
Like this is a story because this is what our world's come to these days. No, this is a story because you guys gave Kirk Cousins $100 million guaranteed.
And I love it. I love it that another team is as dysfunctional as we usually are, and we're not that team anymore. The Bears are making plays that make sense, and it's another team that's acting foolish. So that's my good, thankfully. Maller, what's your good?
My good also came from a front office member of the NFL. On Friday night, I caught this. Chris Ballard, the GM of the Indianapolis Colts, went off. Chris Ballard, of course, cut his teeth as a scout in the Bears front office back in the early 2000s, and he was annoyed about some of the anonymous quotes that come out regarding players that are drafted. I thought it was a spectacular rant by Colts GM Chris Ballard.
I don't know. I mean, I read some of the bullshit that was said on TV. I mean, just the typical, excuse my language, our typical league. Unnamed sources, bad interview. That's such bull. I mean, it is. It's bull. Like, put your name on it. I'm tired of, we tear these young men down. These are 21, 22 young men. And if people out there can tell me they're perfect in their lives, it's crap. It's crap. This is a good kid. And, for those reports to come out, like, I said it last year. It's bull. I'm sorry. I apologize for the language. I don't, but I do.
I don't, but I do. I loved it. It was so good, too.
What
because
was he talking about?
So Adonai Mitchell, who I believe is diabetic, right? And there was an anonymous scout who said, you know, if he's immature, he's not always on top of it. It's like a Cutler thing again. And when his blood insulin isn't up to, like, he's sometimes hard to deal with. And that was from an anonymous scout. And that was the breakdown of him. And I think Chris Ballard said it best. Like, when you're 21, 22, 23, like, if everything in your life was examined so closely, you know, I mean, it is kind of BS for a person to anonymously put that out there.
Did the scout also say that he's going to have some bad night games?
Probably.
Did you read the one scout who said about Caleb Williams that he plays quarterback like Prince?
Yes.
Like, how weird is like some of this stuff
if
that
he
comes
plays
out?
quarterback the way, as we said last week, the way that Prince was a musician, we're good. We're set.
Yeah, one of the greatest musicians of all time. Sign me up,
Sign
please.
me up as well.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What do you got, Tyler?
My good from the weekend came from Caleb Williams. He was out and about everywhere. He obviously did his photo shoots, but he has, if you notice in a lot of these pictures, he's displaying a bear claw. He's got his hand up in like a bear claw motion, and it felt like that took over all of social media, and it feels like Bears fans have a unifying like hand gesture now to talk about their team.
That used to be our thing that when we used to say that like how I always would say cubby chubby, that when the Bears would win, we have our bear claw out.
Yeah.
And then we started buying bear claws,
And then
the
they
pastry.
stopped winning.
They stopped winning and we stopped doing it.
You put your bear claw back in your pants.
So I could totally get behind the bear claw.
I'm for it. I
Is
like
that
it.
your bear claw, or are you just happy to see us?
I like it. He was at the Lakers
Laker game.
game and he had it out.
Yeah, he got back quickly, didn't he? He went back to LA quick.
A private jet will do that for
Yeah,
you, won't it?
it's
You don't have to
awesome.
stand in line.
All right, what do you got, Waddle, for your bad?
My bad was the Suns. They got swept by the T-Wolves, and in the process of said sweep, the T-Wolves won those games by an average margin of 15 points per game. Booker, Durant, Beal, an embarrassing performance by them collectively as they got swept.
My bad is Joel Embiid, who has been a cheap shot artist on the court that we've talked about, and he usually isn't. I don't think he is. And like, I give him so much credit for coming back because he's playing hurt. And I think so many people would have given him credit for simply just trying. That's what we want our athletes to do. Give it your best to play. But he's made things worse by being a guy who's taken some cheap shots against the Knicks. And then he doubled down by going after his fan base. And that won't sit well with Philly. Take a listen to Embiid.
Disappointed. I love our fans. Think it's unfortunate. And I'm not calling them out, but it is disappointing. Obviously, you got a lot of Knicks fans, and they're down the road and never seen it. And I've been here for 10 years. Kind of pisses me off, especially because Philly is considered a sports town. So, they've always shown up, and I don't think that should happen. It's not okay.
What's the win there? What's the win by calling out when you don't win and you're going to get eliminated in the first round by the Knicks, who are also shorthanded? What's the win
There is
of
no
calling
win.
out the fan base?
And it makes you look even worse when you start the answer to the question, whatever the question was, with I'm not going to call the fans out, and then call the fans out over the next 60 seconds.
Yeah, that's bad. Meller, you're bad.
My bad happened Friday night in the middle of an Angels-Tigers game. The game was momentarily delayed when a goose was loose out on the field.
A goose?
Take a listen to the Bally Sports West call of the goose loose on the field on Friday night.
Move it. Oh, yeah, he likes the dirt instead. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. Quick. Can't quite get that launch angle down yet. Working it. Nope, he ain't going anywhere. No. Worked all night to get these seats. And he's going to perch in left field. Nope. There he goes. He gone. He's in cruise control now. Oh, ran into the scoreboard. Down goes the goose. Oh, the poor thing.
Oh, the goose had finally started to fly. It took flight, and then it ran into a
It
scoreboard.
flew into the scoreboard?
Flew into the scoreboard and then fell
Oh,
down into
no.
the
Did it die?
seats. It
It
was
break
not
its
look
neck?
good.
It didn't look good.
Did it think?
Oh, ran into the scoreboard. Down goes the goose.
Did it think like it was
Oh, the
open
poor
sky?
thing.
The scoreboard?
I don't
With
know
the
what it
lights?
thought. I wasn't inside its
Well, no,
head.
it was. Well, it's weird because it wasn't like the center field scoreboard. It was like one of those like ribbon boards that
Yes.
are along the first and third base line that wrap around the
Poor
stadium.
thing. The poor thing.
Is it
the
a
goose.
Canadian goose? One of
Yes,
those?
I think it might have
The most
been.
common goose.
Yes.
They're not very friendly most of the time. Those
No,
geese.
goose are terrible
No.
animals.
What are
Yeah,
you guys
terrible.
insinuating?
Mean-spirited.
The poor
poop all
goose.
over.
I'm not insinuating anything other than they're not very nice. Not nice.
What do you got, Tyler?
My bad is the Tampa Bay Rays. How do you get swept by the White Sox?
You're a hater.
There is fine. Call me a hater.
haters
Call me
in
a hater.
there.
There is zero world in which and I know the Rays aren't the Rays that we've seen in past years right now.
Yeah.
But no team should be getting swept by the Chicago White Sox.
So the White Sox doubled their win total in a weekend. Yes. That is almost impossible to do.
They killed Cinco before Cinco de Mayo.
Enjoy the haterade in there.
Say it with me. Say it proud for all the haters. Southside, stand up.
So can I do my dirty then here?
Because my dirty was just Joel Embiid, and you described it perfectly.
So that was Josh Schriffin's call. So can we play the whole call? Like there was the Benintendi walk-off on Saturday when they won the second game. It's a very enthusiastic call. Let me set it up. And
By the way, I think his first name's John.
Did I say Josh again? John Schriffen. He's the new television play-by-play voice on NBC Sports Chicago. If you don't have it, that's fine. And again, the Sox have been struggling mightily. He takes a new job. He's called loss after loss after loss. So I think I'm being fair when I say he is letting out a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of pent-up frustration. So I get that he wants to be super enthusiastic on a walk-off call. And I think Sox fans would appreciate that. Where my dirty part of it comes off, can you just play that bite again, Mel, or this part?
Say it with me.
Yeah.
Say it proud for all the haters. Southside, stand up.
Now, it's cool that Southside stand up, but I'd like to just ask John, who are these haters that you're talking about? Most of the haters on this station that we have talked to are Sox fans who hate what this team has become. They've hated the culture of last year's team. They've hated the way ownership has taken this direction. They've hated the hirings. They've hated the losses. And they've hated losing. I don't think anyone has been unfair in their criticism of a 3-21 start. I understand that when you want to unite a fan base and you're new in town, you like to ball up your fists and get everyone together. But I think it's awfully dirty. I think when you're new in town and you're calling people haters after a 3-21 or 3-22 start, you gotta learn the environment a little bit more before you understand who's hating and who's not. Again, you can yell at me because I'm a Cubs fan. But I really, truly believe on this radio station, from my Sox friends and the calls that I have taken, and we have taken on this radio station, and from guys like Meller, diehard Sox fan, who now watches other teams because of where the Sox are. Hoodie, diehard Sox fan, who watches other teams because of his frustration. Carmen, diehard Sox fan, who watches other teams because of the direction of his team. And the calls that we get, that this is frustration. It's not me. It's Sox fans who are just frustrated. So, like, John, I understand you want to be enthusiastic. I understand you want to be embraced by this community and embraced by the South Side. But just watch who you point the finger to about being haters. So Be enthusiastic. Love a good walk-off no matter how bad they are. No one is telling you to calm it down because they just won a game. No one is ever going to tell you that. Be you. But I would just say, don't tell others how to be either. Because no one's going to tell you how to be. Don't tell other Sox fans who you are saying are haters for being the way you are.
It's not a pop-up situation either here.
That's what
for
I'm saying.
White Sox fans.
Yeah. You can't spend 28 games or 25 games in this town of Chicago and start taking roll call on who the haters are. You have no idea who the haters are. You have no idea how this organization is run. You have no idea of what the environment is.
When was the last time the White Sox won a playoff series?
2005. And that's the only time under Jerry Reinsdorf the White Sox have won a playoff
I
series.
think White Sox fans have been patient for the most part.
Yes. So, again, I understand you're very happy. You're very enthusiastic. You're trying to make an impression in this town. But don't wag the finger like Dikembe and tell others who may not think like you that they're haters. Enjoy the milkshake.
We're a little pinched for time, so I'm not going to play the whole thing, but John Kruk, who can spin a yarn, the former Phillies great, he spun one hell of a story this weekend on the NBC Sports Philly broadcast about when he played in the Mexican Baseball League, how during spring training they played the prison team.
Oh, boy.
And they let the catcher, who didn't have any equipment, borrow some of their gear. And so he was talking to the catcher, and he was like, hey, this lefty you've got thrown on the mound, he's a hell of a pitcher. What did he do? And then John Kruk provided the punchline.
So I asked the catcher, I said, what did he do? He's out, he found his girlfriend cheating. He burned up her car with her and her boyfriend.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, my gosh.
NBC Sports Philly, John Kruk. One hell of a tale in the middle of a Phillies game.
It's a bit graphic for a family broadcast.
Was not expecting that, my friends.
Speaking of hating, that was some haterade right there.
Yeah.
Then Castellanos homered the next pitch.
Oh, we'll play Tyler.
My dirty, I'm kind of going off of what Sylvie had with Joel Embiid, just Sixers fans in general. And I think this is dirty good. They bought up all those tickets to go be in enemy territory, or Knicks fans, I should say. Yeah. Knicks fans, dirty good, because they bought up all those tickets to go into enemy territory. And then they were throwing Knicks jerseys on the Wilt Chamberlain statue outside of the Sixers arena as well. They completely took over the place.
Wow.
They started the F Embiid chants as well. It was awesome. Big fan of what they did this weekend.
All right, there you go. The good, the bad, the dirty.